Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Friday, 11/7/2025. I'm having camera issues here. I should be over here. People are telling me I wasn't centered yesterday in the shot. Like, I'm figuring this out. I'll get it eventually. What a crazy day today. I mean, I don't want to say it's unprecedented what happened today. We've had other days like that, but I would have bet you anything when we were right here that there was no way this was going to happen. I mean, I had nothing on my watch list that was green, and now everything on my watch list is green. I had nothing in my long-term accounts and even my short-term accounts that was green. Now they're all green. However, we did see this happen in real time, and I want to talk about this in a minute. But first, let's go to where we last left it last Friday. I want to just talk a little bit about this past week. And I'm going to play a couple clips, real short clips from last week's Friday video. Because there were quite a few, I have to say. As we go through these weeklies, it's hard for me to argue that we're not due for at least some sort of a pullback. I mean, we gapped up here. We have a reversal here. It looks very doji-ish. You think it would at least come down into the body of this candle, at least maybe down to the 8. So, not saying we're. All right, let's go to another spot here. 705. I'm looking at risk on or risk off. Risk off is 0. Risk on is 10. I feel like we're 4 to 5 right now. That's where it feels like. All right, let's go to the final spot here. I had 747. And pushed off of it. But like I said, I say 4 to 5 right now. I wouldn't be pushing it, unless you really believe in your names, and unless you really have faith in the patterns. I mean, let's look at. So that was last week. And like I said in that video, I was like a 4 to 5 in terms of risk on, risk off. It felt like it was a little bit dicier. And if we look at how this week unfolded, let's go over here. That was the right call, because obviously, we had this day here where we kind of tested the lower bounds. And to be fair, I said I think still we're technically okay right here. Actually, let me switch this. So let's do that, and I'll get over here. All right, that's easier. So I said I think we're okay here, but this was probably a time to take a little bit off the table, because we were testing the ultra short. Then we lost it here on Tuesday. Looked like we were going to go okay here, and we held here, and it was like, okay, but you've now flipped from the the ultra short term trend being up to being down, and now we're just on the short term. And then we lost it yesterday, and then right here at the bottom, right? My number one goal for the Lund loop, the number one goal is to help you not lose money. The second goal is to make money, but you have to make sure you don't lose money and that you have money so that you can take the opportunity to make money, right? And when I said 4 to 5, in terms of pushing, that's on the lower end of pushing things in terms of risk on. The problem is if you were pushing it here, if you continued to push it here, if you continue to push it here, I don't see any way that at here you didn't have to sell. You didn't get blown out of your positions. And then you didn't see, or you weren't able to participate in the turnaround. So I think it was a good call. I think it worked out okay. I mean, there were some spots in here when you could have made some money, but overall, this is what you wanted to see coming into this week. This is the resolution we wanted to see. Now, does that mean everything's okay? Does that mean it's the all clear? Maybe there's some signs that it could be the all clear. I mean, first of all, well, let's before we do that, let's do one other thing here, because I want to talk about how important this is going to be. Super important when we go to the watch list and what are on the watch list this week. One of the things I've talked about many, many times, especially on days when you get a lot of hammers like this, you're going to see a lot of hammers here, is the most optimal way to play these is to be picking up a position in here, right? When the hammer is at its worst, but at a spot that makes sense. So for example, like there's a number of places here that you could have probably started a position just to probe, just to see, right? Using the low of the day. We could just let's just go to one here. Let's go to NVIDIA, right? All right, so NVIDIA's got a hammer. No surprise, it's going to be on the watch list. But look how it formed today, right? There were so many spots here where you could have said, okay, I'm going to take a shot here, right? You could have said, I'm going to take a shot here, right? Where you knew you'd be out here, or you'd be out down here. I mean, you could even later in the day, this isn't probably the best thing, but you could have taken a shot here where you'd be out here. The point is there's strategic spots to get involved. Then when the stock closes for the day, depending on how strong it closes, you can say, I'm willing to swing this thing because I think the worst is behind us and we're going to probably move higher on Monday. Or you can sell part of this, have a nice big cushion that if we don't go higher on Monday, you're not going to get hurt. So one of the important things about the Discord, and this thing I try to emphasize all the time, is we watch this happen in real time. Like I called this out in real time. The first thing I noticed today was this flush on DraftKings. DraftKings has been hot death. It had earnings yesterday. It gapped down and then it pushed back up. Okay, I'm like, hey, let's pay attention to this. And then as the day went on, we saw that we were right on the 50 for the indexes, right? And the day continued, right? And we were now seeing the 50 lost. Let's see, where was that? That was down. Wait for it. Yeah, so we saw it lost and then recovered. Right? You see that right there? And before that, we were starting to see these turnarounds, right? I was highlighting these turnarounds. Bros, Amazon, Palantir, Meta, right? They were all making these turns. Those are the times to be starting those positions. Even look at MSOS, right? And then as the day went on, more names kept getting on the list that were making the turnarounds. Then we ended up looking like this progressive buying coming into the market. And so when we go to the watch list today, the ideal would have been to already have positions here, already got yourself oriented, or to get positions and then sell a little bit into strength and hold, because we could just gap up on Monday. And again, that's some of the value I think that we have in the Discord. So, all right, well let's go back. Let's start with the let's start with the weeklies and just see where we're at here.